Okay, so you know how in movies, when someone gets lost in the woods, they always do that super dramatic thing where they find a river and follow it to safety? Yeah, well, turns out that's complete BS and will probably get you killed. Who knew, right? Look, I'm about to completely ruin your favorite action movies because apparently Hollywood has been teaching us how to die in the most inefficient ways possible. Like we're talking about survival tips that are basically just elaborate suicide methods with better lighting. So grab some snacks because we're about to dive into 9 movie survival tricks that sound totally legit but will absolutely murder you in real life. And trust me, not in a cool, heroic way. More like a, well, that was embarrassing kind of way. Number 9, following rivers downstream will lead you to civilization. Alright, picture this. You're lost as hell in the middle of nowhere. Probably because you thought you could navigate without GPS like some kind of wilderness wizard. Every movie ever made has drilled this into your head. Find a river, follow it downstream, boom, you're saved. Well, plot twist. Rivers are basically nature's trolls. They don't give a damn about your survival needs and will happily lead you on a scenic tour of absolutely nothing for like 200 miles. It's like following a drunk person's directions. Sure, they seem confident, but you're probably going to end up in a ditch somewhere. Here's the thing. Rivers just do whatever they want. They're like that friend who says they know a shortcut but ends up driving you through 3 different states. Rivers follow the path of least resistance, which usually means winding through the most godforsaken, middle of nowhere terrain you can imagine. You could literally be walking parallel to a McDonald's that's just over the next hill, but nope, you're following Mr. River on his little adventure through Swamp Hill. Plus, walking along rivers means you're basically slogging through mud, getting your feet soaked, and probably falling face first into mosquito paradise. Rivers also love to dump you into fun places like cliff with no way down or rapids that will turn you into human soup. The smart move? Find high ground, look around for actual signs of civilization like power lines or roads, and then stay put so rescue teams can actually find you. Don't trust the river. It's not your friend. It's just water with commitment issues. Number 8, sucking out snake venom will save your life. Oh man, this one kills me because it's in literally every action movie. Hero gets bit by a snake, dramatic music plays, and someone immediately starts sucking on the wound like it's some kind of poison milkshake. Dude, that's not how venom works. It's not just sitting there in a little puddle waiting for you to slurp it up. Within like 2 seconds of getting bit, that venom is already touring your bloodstream like it's on a damn vacation. By the time you realize you've been bit, the venom has already checked into your circulatory system and ordered room service. But here's the really stupid part. Putting your mouth on a fresh wound is basically opening a bacteria highway into both people. You're not helping, you're just making sure 2 people have a terrible day instead of 1. It's like the worst possible interpretation of sharing is caring. And if the person doing the sucking has any cuts in their mouth, congrats, now they're getting venom too. It's like a really twisted game of pass the poison. The actual thing to do is keep the bite below your heart, take off any jewelry before you turn into a balloon, mark where the swelling is so you can track it, and get to a hospital as soon as possible. Don't waste time playing vampire, save that for your weird goth phase. Number 7, drinking your own urine will keep you alive. Okay, I need to talk about this one because some survival show guy made everyone think drinking your own pee is like a thing. It's not. It's gross and it will literally make everything worse. Look, your kidneys are basically your body's garbage disposal. They work really hard to filter out all the nasty stuff your body doesn't want. When you drink that yellow recycled water, you're basically taking all that trash and putting it right back in your system. Your kidneys are like, seriously? We just threw that out. It's like cleaning your house by taking all the garbage from outside and bringing it back in. Your kidneys have to work overtime using precious water to filter out the same crap they just got rid of. And the more dehydrated you get, the more concentrated all that nastiness becomes, so you're basically drinking poison that gets stronger every time. Your body's response? Nope. And then you start puking and having diarrhea, which means you lose even more water. Even the freaking army manual says don't do this, and those guys will eat literally anything. If your body is trying to throw something away, maybe don't bring it back to the party, you know? Just find actual water or focus on getting rescued instead of playing recycling games with your bodily fluids. Number 6, building a fire inside a cave or enclosed shelter. This one sounds so cozy and logical, right? You find a nice cave, build a fire, and suddenly you're living your best caveman life. Wrong. You just turned your shelter into a death trap with stone walls and mood lighting. Caves don't have ventilation systems. Genius. All that smoke and carbon monoxide has nowhere to go except straight into your lungs. Carbon monoxide is sneaky too. You can't smell it or see it. You just get sleepy and confused and then, well, permanent nap time. But wait, there's more. Fires in caves can heat up the rock walls so much that they literally explode. Yeah, explode. So you might survive the gas poisoning only to get taken out by flying chunks of rock. It's like the cave is personally offended by your interior decorating choices. The right way to do it is build your fire outside the cave entrance. Use the cave for wind protection, but keep the fire where the smoke can actually escape. Create a little reflector wall to bounce heat into your shelter. This way, you stay warm without turning your refuge into a gas chamber. That cozy cave fire in the movies, in real life, it's more like a suicide booth with rustic charm. Number 5, seeking shelter under large trees during lightning storms. So you're caught in a storm, it's pouring rain, and you see this massive tree that looks like nature's umbrella. Every movie shows people huddling under big trees during storms, but congratulations, you just turned yourself into a human lightning rod. Big trees are basically giant hit me with lightning signs. And when lightning hits a tree, it doesn't just politely stay in the wood, it spreads out through the ground like nature's own electrical grid. You could be 30 feet away and still get fried as the current travels through the wet ground. Even if you don't get directly struck, the tree can literally explode from the lightning hit, sending massive chunks of wood flying like wooden missiles. Lightning can also jump from the tree to you because apparently it's not satisfied with just destroying the tree. The safer move is to find a low area away from tall stuff, crouch down on the balls of your feet, and make yourself as small as possible. If you're in a forest, look for an area with shorter, similar height trees. Don't be the tallest thing around or hang out near the tallest thing around. That dramatic movie scene where heroes wait out the storm under a giant tree, in real life, they probably get turned into crispy critters before the credits roll. Number 4, treating severe bleeding by elevating the wound and applying pressure above it. Movie first aid is basically elevate everything and squeeze stuff above the wound. Sounds smart, but you might just cut off circulation and cause permanent damage while the person bleeds out anyway. Elevating wounds only works for minor bleeding. With serious arterial bleeding, gravity isn't your problem, blood pressure is. While you're holding someone's arm up in the air like they're asking a really urgent question, they're still losing massive amounts of blood. Even worse, pressing on major arteries above a wound can cut off blood flow to healthy tissue, causing permanent nerve damage or requiring amputation later. You're basically playing anatomical roulette with someone's limb while they're bleeding out. The current medical advice is way simpler. Apply direct pressure to the wound itself with whatever clean material you have. Don't worry about elevation unless it's minor bleeding. For severe bleeding, pack the wound with gauze or cloth and apply steady, direct pressure. If blood soaks through, don't remove the material, just add more on top and keep pressing. Focus on actually stopping the bleeding instead of playing pressure point guessing games. That movie scene where someone dramatically cuts off circulation to save a life, in real life, they might stop the bleeding but cost the person their limb. Number 3, eating anything that animals eat is safe for humans. You're lost and hungry, then you see a squirrel munching on some bright red berries. Your starving brain goes, if that squirrel can eat it, so can I. Well, that kind of logic might make this your last meal ever. Animals aren't your personal food critics because their bodies are completely different biological machines. Those innocent-looking red berries might be from a yew tree. Birds can eat them all day long, but just a few seeds contain enough toxins to stop your heart permanently. The birds don't digest the seeds, so they're fine, but you would process every bit of that poison. That happy squirrel might be enjoying death cap mushrooms, which contain enough toxins to destroy your liver and kidneys, while the squirrel's specialized digestive system handles them just fine. Animals basically got nature's cheat codes. They have special enzymes, different stomach pH levels, and liver functions that can neutralize toxins that would send humans straight to the morgue. Even deer regularly eat plants that will make humans violently ill or worse. The only safe approach is to know exactly what you're eating through proper plant identification, not by watching the local wildlife. Don't let a bird or squirrel be your food tester. They're playing a completely different biological game with completely different rules. Number 2, moss grows on the north side of trees, making it a natural compass. You're lost without a compass, but you remember that old saying about moss showing you which way is north. Well, following this advice is a great way to walk in circles until you die of exhaustion. Moss doesn't care about magnetic north, true north, or any other direction. Moss just wants moisture and shade, which can be found on any side of a tree, depending on conditions. Moss is basically the hippie of the plant world. It just wants to chill wherever it's comfortable. In dense forests, moss often grows completely around trees like a fuzzy green sweater because the entire forest floor stays damp and shaded. Try finding north on a tree that's covered in moss from every direction. It's like asking a Christmas tree for directions. Moss growth depends on soil moisture, prevailing winds, nearby water sources, and local conditions, none of which have anything to do with cardinal directions. You could easily end up walking directly away from civilization while thinking you're headed toward it. Even worse, following moss often leads you in circles as you move from tree to tree, each one pointing you in a different direction. Real navigation requires actual tools, a compass, GPS, or at minimum, understanding how to use the sun's position and the North Star. That wise old woodsman in the movie who navigates by moss, in real life, he'd be wandering around lost while confidently walking deeper into the wilderness. Number 1, if you're lost, keep moving until you find help. This seems like total common sense. You're lost, so you start walking to find your way back to civilization. But this is actually the fastest way to turn a temporary problem into a permanent disappearance. Every step you take while lost potentially moves you further from where rescuers are looking for you. Search and rescue teams start their search from your last known location and assume you're within a certain radius. When you start wandering around randomly, you could walk right out of the search area while rescuers are concentrating their efforts miles away. You'll also exhaust yourself, use up precious energy reserves, and potentially walk into more dangerous terrain. Getting more lost makes you harder to find and reduces your survival time dramatically. The correct survival strategy is exactly the opposite. Stay put, make yourself visible, and conserve energy while you wait for rescue. Build signal fires, create large ground signals that can be seen from aircraft, use mirrors or bright objects to reflect sunlight, and make noise at regular intervals. Stay near clearings or high ground where you can be spotted more easily. Only move if you're absolutely certain you know which direction leads to safety. And even then, leave clear markers showing which way you went. That movie hero who keeps walking until they stumble onto a road, in real life, they probably walked right past 3 different rescue teams who were looking for them miles behind. So which of these movie myths did you always think would actually work? Drop a comment and let me know. And make sure to subscribe because we're constantly debunking more dangerous myths that popular media has convinced us are true.